Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my Week 3 predictions. So, what's really interesting is that last week I made my predictions and whatnot, but I got the same exact right, so my average has not changed at all. So, we're still at 62.5, which is really interesting. I think considering going into week 2, I think that is a really good place to have them. As you can see, I have the Thursday night game. It is Thursday after all, so I need to make this one kind of, not quick, but, as long as it's before the Thursday night game. And you know what? We got Cameron Wake. We got Byron Leftwich, who has been probably out of the NFL for quite some time. And you know what? I gotta pick Gardner Minshew and the Jaguars. I think they've shown themselves to be a really, a lot better of a team than they have in a while. Obviously, the Dolphins have shown that they can compete with the Bills. I didn't watch the first game, to be quite honest, but they did score 11 points against New England the first time, so yeah, they're still not great, but they have developed as a team, but I don't think all the pieces are there yet, if that makes sense. So I'm picking the Jaguars tonight. I think they're going to take a pretty nice win. I feel like it's going to be close. I could see it going to maybe 28 to 24 kind of range just about with these two, so I'm picking the Jaguars this week. Raiders and Patriots. Raiders have looked solid. The Patriots have looked solid. This is going to be a tough one. I'm going to pick the upset team. I'm picking the Raiders this week. I think what we've seen the past 2 weeks, they beat the New Orleans Saints, which is an incredible feat in and of itself. And they took down, who'd they play week 1? I already can't remember. I'm horrible. I believe it was I don't remember who the Raiders played in week 1, but I knew that I did not pick them to win, and they ended up winning, so Raiders are doing really well this week. I gotta pick the Raiders. Now, Texans and Steelers. I have to pick the Steelers again. They've just been looking solid this entire season. As you can see up here, I have them so far right now at 3-0. The Texans, however, I have at 0-3. But I genuinely think that the Steelers... it's the Texans. I don't really know where else to go with that, but... As for the Jets and Colts, I'm picking the Colts. I think, unfortunately, this is an easy one. The Jets just have not looked good. Unfortunately. I want to see the Jets do good one of these seasons, so hopefully within the next couple. Then we have the Chiefs and Ravens. Oh boy. Oh boy. I might have to come back to that. Rams and Bills. Both teams have surprised me. However, I think the Bills are going to continue their streak. I think, they have the momentum right now in their favor, They realize they're a game ahead. They're going to play hard next game to keep the Patriots at bay in the division. Obviously, it's still early on in the season, but with the Patriots, it's easier to take them out earlier than later. The football team against the Browns. The Browns pulled away with a 5-point win. Let me actually take a look here. Okay. They pulled away with a 5-point victory over the Bengals last week. See, it's interesting because I'm going to pull out my handy-dandy phone and talk about the football team real quick. See, the football team has looked really good. And I don't know why. I mean, obviously, last week, you know, they take the fat L. Um, but they did play the Cardinals, and I think, you know, from what we've seen this season, the Eagles are a marginally worse team than the than the Cardinals. So going up against the Browns is going to be really interesting because the Browns, again, they blew it week 1. Week 2, they barely escaped the Bengals. I'm picking the football team on this one. I think the football team is going to rally again. They're going to win another game and go 2-1 in their division. Now, for those of you who are new to this series, if you didn't watch my previous two, I'm keeping my predictions the same, so all the records and stats that you see right now are from these games. So, like, from the predictions that I made. So, the week 1 predictions are still the same, which is why the football team is 1-2 on the right hand side, and why I have the Eagles going 2-0. But that's why all this stuff looks the way it does. Regardless, I'm gonna pick the Eagles over the Bengals. I think the Eagles, this is their game. You know, the Bengals, yes, they've looked really good against the Browns. They only lost by 5 points to them. They did narrowly lose to the Chargers, which was a surprise to a lot of people. The Eagles, they just choked the game against the football team, and if they did lose last week. So, I mean, yes, I still believe in the Eagle dream. Sorry, I had to close this door real quick. Alright, I return. Very professional. But for week 2, let me just pull up the Eagles right now. Why am I running on LTE? Oh, that's why. Okay. Eagles, they lost to the Rams pretty handily, so. And I know that I'm giving the Rams like a lot of shit. But I don't know. I think the Bills are the better team. Like, sorry guys. Sorry Rams fans. I think the Eagles are going to beat the Bengals. I do believe it's going to be a close game, but I do not think it is going to be as, as devastating or surprising as we thought it was going to be. Now, the Titans and Vikings. When I picked the Vikings, they lost. When I did pick the Vikings, they won. I'm going to take the Titans on this one. I think the Titans are pretty good. Obviously, they narrowly scraped by, who is it? The only reason why I don't remember scores and stuff is because I was not home for really any of the games because work has me scheduled nice and fun. Let me just do this. It'll make my life so much easier. Why did it click on New Orleans? That made no sense. Titans. There we go. Alright, so the Titans are 2-0. They beat the Broncos by 2. They beat the Jaguars by 3. So I think the Vikings are definitely going to be a challenge, but the Titans won 2 so far. I can see them winning another one. Because why not? I think the Buccaneers handily take down the Broncos. Last week, obviously week 1 was not their greatest. They were not in their groove, but they warmed up. They got by week 2 pretty handily, so I think we're going to see the same thing. Now, Panthers-Chargers. This one's a tough one because the Panthers have not looked good this season. The but the Chargers have shown a bit of promise. I'm gonna take the Chargers on this one. You know, I can't go against my boys, but obviously, I mean, I did go against my boys last week, and I'm probably gonna go against my boys this week. But that's besides the point. My secondary boys, in the Chargers. I love both the Chargers and Panthers equally. I think the Chargers are just right now. I think they are the better team. I think that's all it comes down to. I think they're more ready for this. You know, simple as that. Bears Falcons. I'm picking the Falcons. They look a hell of a lot better than the Bears do, especially if the Bears are only beating the Giants by 4. That is not what you want to see, especially if you are already considered a mediocre team. No offense. Yes, the Falcons did lose both games, but it was against fairly tough opponents, and the scorelines were close both times. That's why I think the Falcons are going to take down the Bears this week. I don't want to say it should be easy, but for the Falcons, I think this is their wake-up week. Lions and Cardinals, the Cardinals have just looked insane this year. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. I'm picking the Cardinals. Seahawks, Cowboys. What can I say? The Seahawks have looked really good too. Yeah, the Cowboys have as well, but the Cowboys, you know, for a team that considers themselves elite, and this is by no means a dig at the Falcons, or really any of the teams that are playing. Let me find the Cowboys on here. You know, for a team that considers themselves elite, you should not be losing to the Rams. Yes, of course, the Rams are a difficult team. Trust me. You know, I'm just so used to the Rams kind of being, like, irrelevant. Like, they were, 12-4 one season, and now they're, 8. Last year, they were, 8-8 or something. So, obviously, there's some drop-off, but the Rams are a solid team. I don't exactly know where they're going. Obviously, I've been against the Rams 3 times. Now, if they beat the Bills, then I'm probably going to pick them next week, to be quite honest. And they should not be just barely beating the Falcons. No offense to the Falcons, but Falcons fans have had it rough, you know. They're either good or they're bad. I mean, yes, they are average sometimes where they, squeak into the wild card, but, that's... I just feel bad for the Falcons fans, really. Shout out to Mike. You almost had the Cowboys last week. Oh, we got a couple games here. Chiefs-Ravens. I'm picking the Chiefs. You know, I think... I really don't know what to say about this one. I just think the Chiefs are going to take it. I'm probably going to be wrong on that. Packers-Saints. I don't know. Here's why I don't know. The Saints lost to the Raiders. But, I don't know. If I take a look here, the Saints did beat the Buccaneers, but they ended up beating the Raiders. Whereas the Packers, they did beat the Vikings, they did beat the Lions. I'm going to pick the Packers on this one. And I think a part of the reason is, the Saints are going to be at a lower morale. I think the Packers are certainly going to be at a higher morale, unless they're at a steady, kind of place where they're like, okay, we beat 2 teams we knew we could beat. We're going up against the Saints. They lost to the Raiders. We should be fine. So either the Packers are going to underestimate the Saints, or they're just going to beat the Saints as usual. So, yeah, those are my picks. I have a lot of weird picks, and I know I should probably be picking the Rams over the Bills, but like with how the Bills have been playing, I don't want to count them out just yet. I feel like they do have a really strong chance to beat the Rams. Yes, they beat the Jets 27-17, and they just narrowly beat the Dolphins 31-28. But I think with the momentum they're carrying and that like nice morale that they're going to be bringing into this game, I think anything could happen. And I think I would like to see the Bills win this game. I think that's probably my bold prediction for the week, is that the Bills do take down the Rams. If I had to pick another bold one, I don't know. Maybe the Raiders beating the Patriots, but like the Raiders have been looking really hot. So yeah, hopefully I get more than 10 right this week. If I don't, then we're going to be at a steady 62.5% pace throughout this season. But yeah, hopefully Minshew brings it home and gets our first dub on the board for this week. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your days. Hopefully your team wins. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.